whispers in the sky, threads of light.
Dear family of light, today we will talk about the 4 levels of energy and how these levels of energy are connected with the 3 gunas. The 3 gunas, we saw it already in the last video and how they affect our life. And today we will go more into depth in how the gunas affect our energy level. Everything in the universe is energy now. Quantum physicists already know and already taught us that the universe that we experience is energy. Our body, if we take out the space between the electrons and the center of the atoms, and we reduce the space, so there is no more space, our body will be probably 1 centimeter for 1 centimeter, but it's much bigger than that. So we have the illusion that this is a full space, but it actually is pretty empty. The matter in this body is just 1 centimeter per 1 centimeter. What is moving then is the energy of the electrons, which spins around the center of the nucleus of the atoms. And so energy affects everything, affects our life. That's why we say that people with a lot of energy, probably they have more money, they have more health, and they have a better life. So it is very important to understand where are you and how to increase your energy. So as you can see in the graph, which is presented here, is very indicative, so don't take the percentage as a truth. There are the 25, 50, 75% is just indicative to tell you approximately where are you. So if you have 25% or below energy, you are depressed. You are very low energy. Your dominant guna is tamas. You are probably depressed, you don't want to do nothing, you don't want to go out of your house, you're scared of people, you don't know what to do with your life, you probably don't do sport, you are overweight, you move barely, etc., etc. As you can see, the psychology treat this as a sort of illness, but for yoga, this is just a lack of energy. So you can bring out a person from the depression just changing his energy. So with proper diet, with vitamins, and of course with sport and meditation. Even if meditation is something that a depressed person cannot do. So if you have a depressed person, don't teach them about meditation. Just make them move, make them eat healthy, and make them take in vitamins and supplement. And probably make them take in sun, because maybe they are closed in their house, they don't want to go out. And so it is important that they go out, breathe, take some sun, etc. We move now a bit upper, and we have between 25% and 50% approximately. We have the anxiety state, which is dominated by Rajas Guna. Rajas Guna is movement and is activity. And it looks like that the majority of people in planet Earth live in this state, which is not really normal. We think that is normal because everybody is in that state. Everybody is doing something, everybody is late. We have this idea that we are always late for something. We don't have time for this, time for that. The society has created this movement because the economical system is based on rajas. The economical system wants you to be stressed, wants you to be in the anxiety stage. They really don't want depressed people, because depressed people don't make the machine earn money. So the system prefer the people in this range of energy, but they don't want you in the well-being, of course, because if you are in the well-being, you buy less, you get less sick, etc. If you are dominated by the rajagunas and you are experiencing a lot of anxiety and stress, what you can do is really start to meditate. So you get out of depression, and now you focus more and more on your well-being. So you go on in your search for a good sport that you like, the vitamins that work for you, the food that works for you, how many hours under the sun, how many hours in nature, etc. And you have to start a spiritual practice, you have to start a meditation practice that will bring you out of your mind. If not, you spend time thinking, analyze everything, and you miss this beautiful gift, which is the life on planet Earth, which can be beautiful and calm if you allow yourself to be blissful and calm. And so, yeah, this is sadly enough where the majority of people fell into it. If you are in there, then you have to make some changes. Now we move a little bit upper, and we are now between the 50% and 70% of energy. This is well-being. You know how to handle your energy. You became calm, you became contemplative, you start to observe life, you start to be a bit detached from outcomes of your life, detached from your illnesses. You do the best for your physical body, but still you don't worry about too much about your life, your money, and your relationship, etc. You take everything uh, from a distance, and so you spend more time in nature. You spend more time doing what you really like. You probably compromise less your time, so you are not giving time to people that don't want to change, and then they don't contribute to your well-being. There are a few people here, not many in the world, live and experience the life in a well-being state. Uh, because if you are very rich, you probably you have a business, and if you have a business, you work long hours, and so probably you're stressed. If you are not rich, then probably the lack of money make you stressed out, and so you have to find a balance between an abundant life and a peaceful life. So the two have to intersect in a balanced way. Having money is important, have a wealth is important, but without compromising too much your well-being. You can recognize people that lives in this state because on the way he speak, on the way he act, on the way he lives, etc., etc. The last state, above all, is what we in yoga called ananda state, the blissful state. So the well-being was the sattva, and as we said in the last video, you have to go above the three gunas. So when you achieve Ananda, the blissful state, you are no more dependent on tamas, rajas, and sattva, but you are in this blissful state. And many people think that blissful state is unachievable. They think that, oh no, this is like a fairy tale, this is like the tale of the enlightened master, which I never met somebody like that. And so you think that this is not real. I had the privilege to meet a person that spent most of his time in Ananda, so I know that this is real. And it is true that if you don't have direct experience of an enlightened master, you might argue that this doesn't exist. Nobody in your family is probably in the Ananda state. If you are lucky if there is somebody in the well-being state, in the sattva state already, but in the Ananda state of mind is very difficult to have. But it is real. There are enlightened masters, there are beings of light on this planet. And this is correspond to the 5D consciousness. So the 5D consciousness is the Ananda state where there is no more duality. And as there is no more duality, so there is no conflict anymore. Because you use the mind and the analysis of situation only to live. Like, okay, I have to cross the road, I check that a car is not coming, and that's it. But you're not caught into the thought, oh, there is too much traffic, it should be less, and it should be that, and I mean, you don't get along with your mind, you don't follow all the thought process that sometimes we get caught into it. Getting out of 3D consciousness into 4D and 5D means leaving behind the idea of duality, the idea of I am. I saw just an interview the other day where the interview asked one guy, how you define yourself? And the guy said, well, I define myself as nothing because there is no self. And this is a beautiful answer, and this is exactly what 5D consciousness is. There is no self. And if there is no, I don't give importance that much to this body and this mind. This is just a vessel that speaks to you right now because this mind and body decide to do that without really a judgment, without really saying this is right, this is wrong. And so I wish really that more and more people experience more and more with Ananda state. The Ananda state can be reached through meditation. If you want, you can work with plant medicine, psychedelic, but psychedelic, they just open a window and then the window closes again and you are back. So it is good, the psychedelic experience, to have this view of what Ananda is, but then you have to work on yourself to make this Ananda stable into your life. And yeah, just with practice and with dedication and with faith, not faith in something, but just general faith, you can achieve that. So this is everything for today. I wish you a lot of joy, light, and for now, be at peace, be at peace.
Silver whispers in